Hello, welcome to the Steam Release Podcast. I'm your host, Dewey Bear, and join me today to help us dig through the release list so that you don't have to. See, I threw that in again. It's been a while since I've said it. I completely forgot about it. Anyhow, joining me today to help me go through that is Roadypie.
Ooh, hi.
Feeling a bit blue?
Well, no, I'm feeling a little
purple.
shimmery.
A little shimmery? Yeah, very shiny.
Purple. In a purple mood.
Purple. Oh, it's purple. Okay. I have difficulty telling the difference between purple and blue. I really do. I don't think it's color blindness. I think I just lack color awareness.
Welcome to our podcast on color theory, hosted by Dewey Bear. This is going to go great.
Oh, it's going to go
what
terribly.
Color is this?
Yeah. That'd be good. No. Yeah, because I thought, like, trees were blue for the longest time, because for some reason I just could not tell the difference between blue and green. I can tell the difference between blue and green now, and again, I don't think I'm colorblind, because I taken all the colorblind tests, and I know I'm not colorblind, but I used to always think that trees looked blue. And I can tell them apart, but yeah, as a kid I was just like, they look blue.
I know that's a tree, and I know that is also a tree. Is that what you mean by tell them apart? Because if you can't tell if a tree's not blue, okay?
Anyhow. So it is Easter today. It is Easter. Yes. I am not having a roast dinner with my family, so.
I'm not having a mountain of Easter eggs, chocolate Easter eggs. I'm very disappointed.
Yeah. Yep. Actually, I even noticed, so my local CVS, which is a little like pharmacy / shop, and they have candies and stuff.
Yeah.
They didn't even decorate for Easter this year. I guess, I don't know if they couldn't get the stuff. Like, nothing was decorated. So it almost like this whole week came up and I didn't even realize it was happening. And so it's just like, maybe that's partly why I felt a little weird this week. It's just like, something should be happening this week.
Yeah.
And
I know a lot of places did their decorating for Easter like right after Valentine's Day. At least around this neck of the woods.
Oh, yeah. Valentine's Day. Oh, that happened too.
Yeah, that was a few months ago already.
Yes, this is the world now, but we're here together, safe and sound, and well fed. So I don't have too many complaints. Just of this weirdness. Anyhow, I guess our first question to start off, Roadypie, what have you been up to this last week?
All right, I didn't jump back into Whispers of a Machine because I think I was. It's one of those things. I been brewing over it, and I think I know what I need to do, but it's just like, right, I just need to stream it. Let's get back into streaming it again because I was like so enthusiastic, and I streamed like twice. Go back to stream twice in the week, and then it was just like I didn't stream at all this week, so we'll get back into that. But I did play a relaxing game. There were a couple of DLCs out for Glass Masquerade 2, and that was so I was like very, very happy with that. I completed them as well. They're just so pretty, and I love the artwork. I love the just the puzzles are quite nice, and each puzzle can take you between like 5 and 20 minutes. So yeah, it's really, really nice to do. And I really needed something nice and calming and everything. And then I was thinking, what else could I play that's on my list? Because I really want to get another like tick on my complete list and everything. So I played something completely different from something calming and relaxing, and I played True Fear Forsaken Souls Part 2.
True Fear, bingo, Part 2.
Part 2.
Yeah, and it is a hidden object game, but it is I mean, if you really like kind of scary kind of games, I would recommend you pick this up, regardless of whether you like hidden object games or if you've never tried one, because it is like there are loads of really creepy things going on and loads of there's a few like jump scares and everything, and just things that just make you go, oh. I don't think you would have coped very well playing this, Jury. It's really quite it's difficult to play through, basically, if you don't like those sort of scary things. I put it on expert mode because every not point and click, but every hidden object game, it will have different levels of what you can play. You can either play casual or advanced or expert, and because the achievements, it says if you've played it through, you completed it on expert, you'll get that achievement, blah blah blah. I put it on expert, but they take away the sort of kind of pathfinding on what you're supposed to do next, because it's like if you're playing casual, it's like, oh, it might there might be a little sparkle or something like that, and if you notice it, it's like, oh yeah, there's something I can click on here, or and you sort of have an idea on what you're supposed to be doing next and everything.
Yeah.
Because when you bring up the map, it says, oh look, there's like an exclamation mark on where you're supposed to go next. Whereas on expert, it doesn't have any of that at all. But they've not done enough feels like they've not done enough in the story to sort of give you an idea, saying, okay, I've done this, so I need to move on to here to carry on with the story. So you're kind of like stuck there going, all right, now what? Yeah. And there's a lot of backwards and forwards, all these, and it is like massive. It's one of the bigger, it is definitely one of the bigger hidden object games I've played. I'm normally there about 3 hours long. I've played 9 hours and I've not completed it yet. There's just tons of scenes, just absolutely tons of scenes. So yeah, and can you imagine, gotta go backwards and forwards all these different areas and everything. But yeah, it's very well done. The first one is better, but
okay.
Gotcha.
But I would suggest to people to put it on like advanced mode or casual mode rather than expert, because expert, you just don't have any. It's not that you need a helping hand, but you need you to make the story flow. It's like if you're having that story flow, you need to like go A, B, C, and D, and not and not just randomly guessing. So yeah, that's what it means.
Yeah, it seems like, having a quest tracker. A quest tracker is like, Japanese RPGs figured this out decades ago. So just basic, even if it's just a vague thing, like, okay, I've got these sets of clues, or like just have a section where it's like, this leads to that, or, just something to track your progress, unless they really want you take notes. And if they want you to take notes, they should really inform you you should probably be taking notes.
That's the thing. They do have like a notebook and a journal and everything like that, but it's what it's making you do versus what's in the story, what's puzzles you got to do.
So the story actually doesn't help you.
Exactly. It sometimes doesn't. So yeah. So that's the thing. But yeah, it's still really good and fantastic effort, I feel.
It's good to hear, because oftentimes I feel like you are such an expert on point and clicks. Like, you're very well knowledgeable of what makes a good point and click, and oftentimes you're like pretty dissatisfied. So it's nice to hear that this one hit the mark.
Yeah, definitely. Well. This series is really good. So yeah, I'd recommend both parts 1 and 2 for sure.
Yeah, because I think it's a genre that a point and click game can be made with little design, with little care for design, and it can still technically be a point and click. Well, not point and click. I'm thinking of like hidden object. So hidden object games. So you see a lot of these like hidden object games. They can be churned out real fast. But there's such a difference between a hidden object game that's been churned out and a hidden object game that actual care was taken for the design.
Completely.
Alrighty. Any other titles you checked out?
No, I keep playing Final Fantasy 11, and I'm very, very, very close to getting one of the weapons that I've spent years getting. So yeah, I'm so close. I'm at the last sort of marker now, pretty much. So yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah. Alrighty. What about you, Radio Tom?
Hey, I got introduced finally. I was not even an intro, but I'll tell you what I played.
Did I not?
Last 2 weeks. No.
Oh gosh, I was certain I did.
No.
Okay, my memory is just
second time in a row he's pulled this on me too.
Oh no!
Let's see how it is.
I'm slipping.
Oh, I've played some games. Dewey and I played our mellow on Monday. We had a blast teaching him, cyber bullying him like crazy. The third game too. That was a little mean on my part, but we still had a blast.
I did win one game though.
Yeah, you won game 2. I tried not to win the first game. I was doing everything I could not to, but a game like that, it's gonna happen. Armello, a cute little digital only board game where it is your path to victory. The king is corrupted, falling to corruption, slowly dying over time, and you are trying to be the next ruler or help heal the king of his corrupted rot ways. Is what that one is. It's a cute, adorable game, been out for a few years now. So we did that one. I gave Charterstone, the digital edition, I gave that a shot since the last time I was on here. That's a legacy style board game, so legacy being kind of a campaign playthrough. This is a worker placement game. I'm hopeful sometime this week I'll get a full review on that one out. The look of everything looks very mobile. I was not a fan of their tutorial. I'd never played the actual board game itself prior to this. I heard great things about the board game, so I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be a good way to try this one out for a lot less money. And they don't really teach you how to play it. They give you that vibe of like, oh, you're playing this, you must have played the board game. And I was like,
oh dear, no, that's not good.
That's not a good assumption. That's not a good assumption to make.
Yeah, so I got a few little kind of bumps in the road because of that. Which, and especially too when it's a campaign, each little thing you do will affect the next games going forward, and you have no idea what you're doing. It's gonna be a slow grind for a few. It's especially when it's like a 10 to 12 game campaign. It's a little rough. So we did that. I took a look at, and I've been watching some broadcasts of one of the games we're going to be talking about later, which we'll get into when that pops up. That's the good old Radio General. But otherwise, I went crazy with Resident Evil 3 when that came out. Streamed the entirety of that game. I did a lot of swearing and a lot of pant filling and not the right ways. So yeah, that's roughly what I've been up to.
Yeah, I'll just notepad of Resident Evil 3. Has anyone here, so a bit less on the indie side, but more on the mainstream, has anyone here checked out the new FF7 yet?
No.
I'm gonna wait until maybe it goes on sale or something.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think all of us have so many games that we're already playing and not ready to get through.
This is it. I think now's time to hunker down, play some things that are in my library, and trying to get a few more things cleared. Because I do want to play something like just really relaxing and everything, but I'm looking through my list to say, is that relaxing? Is that gonna, calm and chill me out? I'm so mad at myself that I didn't get a Switch with Animal Crossing on or something like that, because that would just like nice calm game. But yeah, it's good.
I've been playing Animal Crossing because I needed that exact thing of like I just need chill, I need relax.
See, I think you'd enjoy Glass Masquerade because I think that it's got such nice music and it's just so pretty as well.
What? Speaking about that, I need to add that to my wish list because every time you talked about it, I was like, oh, this looks like a puzzle game I'd want to play, and I just keep forgetting.
Just need to actually ask.
It's just a really nice like jigsaw puzzle kind of game, but it doesn't look like something that someone's taken a picture and just cut it up. They've actually properly designed it and done their own pictures and everything.
And with it being like stained glass, there's an extra level of challenge there because you have this shard of red and it just doesn't connect to another shard of red. It just fits into a shard that's that shape, and you have to figure out like, where does this go? That's really cool.
And it's reasonable too, which I'm a big fan of. So.
Yeah, $5.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Any other games? Nope. Okay. Well, back to our Mellow. I have a few thoughts about it. First of all, you are an excellent teacher. So thank you. Thank you. He was gentle, so I appreciate it. Also, Godless Weeb, yes, 99% coming to PC regarding Final Fantasy VII, I believe. Yes, I'll probably wait for the PC release. I'm really glad Square Enix has made a dedication to not really do console exclusives anymore, and they pretty much it may be on consoles for a year, maybe two, but it will come to PC eventually, and I'm really happy about that. So yeah, Godless Weeb, I'm glad you're here. Our Mellow, there are a few bugs I noticed which are really odd. For example, a lot of the tooltips, like if you hover over characters to see their stats, they can become stuck, and they just stuck on the screen for me. I don't know if that happens with mouse and keyboard, but with controller it does.
I've never had that on mouse keyboard, no.
Yeah, so I think it's an issue with controller. So that was something annoying, and so I have to back out and go back in. I've become a bit of controller. That's a weird phrase. I've become a bit of a nut for using a controller because I don't know. As someone who never played console games growing up, it's finally clicked with me, and I was like, oh, this is really ergonomic. I like this. It's relaxing. So I've been starting to play more of my games. But I think mouse and keyboard for our Mellow is what I'd recommend until some of the bugs get resolved, because it can really negatively affect the play experience. But other than that, great game.
Yeah, I'm wondering how aware of those they are too, because with as long as that game's been out and those haven't been addressed, I don't know.
I think maybe I should submit a ticket or something, because maybe 99% of people play with mouse and keyboard on this. Yeah, quite possible. Oh yeah, let me see. And that was our Mellow I played. I also have been playing some more Temtem. This is my probably Animal Crossing equivalent right now, where it's just a good game to veg out to. They just brought in the tournament update, so now there is they now have PvP tournaments available. And this year they're planning to release 2 more islands, and then there's going to be another island next year. So they've got a lot of plans, and as far as their long-term stuff, they're through 2022, they're basically just going to be fulfilling all the promises they had from the campaign, the Kickstarter campaign. That's basically what that's going to be doing, so they have the whole schedule posted now and figured out. But it is an excellent game. Having played a lot of the other Pokemon titles, I actually do prefer Temtem significantly. And even take out the online multiplayer if this was just as a single player game, which you can very much play it as if it is a single player game. It takes Pokemon, and I feel like it polished the systems more so than Pokemon does, because Pokemon has a lot of these weird artifacts from previous design decisions that were just like quirky or fun or nonsensical. They're just like, let's just do this because it's different, and it's still there. And a lot of design that's just kind of an annoyance. And they bring some of those into this, like, oh, we have met our eyes have met. We have to battle. But I really appreciate that, like, not all the characters in this game are tamers. They're just there's other interests. Like, it's like, oh, I'm an architect, or oh, I do this, and this is my storyline over here, and it has nothing to do with Temtem. So people have lives outside of the Pokemon, so that is kind of neat. Anyhow, that was Temtem. So every Friday, I get together with friends from Canada and we just video chat. And we try to find games to play together. And this time we discovered Bomber Grounds Battle Royale. This came out on March 6, 2020. We might have even talked about this game.
Yeah, we probably have, yeah.
Because I was like, I feel like, because one of them was talking about, like, oh, we need to find this multiplayer Bomberman, but, like, the Bomberman on Steam is, like, $40. So, and here's a free one that is essentially a Battle Royale. I suck at it. I've not killed a single other player in this game, despite having played, like, 10 rounds. But it's really cute. It's really fun. It's free. The monetization isn't really aggressive. It's very much, it seems to mostly just be cosmetics. Although, I haven't figured out if, like, the charged hit is an upgrade you get in the game, or if I'm just doing it wrong. So I'm wondering, is that something you buy, or you can just, like, smack someone with the bat and knock them out? I think that is a game mechanic, but I have to double check because I suck at this game. So I'm like, can I? Because I haven't actually been able to get close enough to anyone to actually whack them. So, because I'm really bad at it. But Bomber Grounds, it was fun. It was a pleasant time to play with a group of friends.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I played Brawlhalla. Was there? No, that was last week. Love Bomberman. Yes, Godless Weeb is really good at Bomberman too. Yeah, Animal Crossing Temtem crossover when? Yes, that would be great. It would be Tem Crossing. That would be awesome. I would like that a lot. It would be perfect. Anyway, I think that's all the games I played this last week. So it's been great. It's been great. And on Monday, Tom, you, me, mano a mano.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have probably something else to talk about next week.
Ooh, you got a game in mind?
Don't know.
Yep, I'm gonna pretend like I'm all prepped and ready for it.
Oh, okay.
I know exactly. I think I may have an idea for something for
he has
tomorrow.
plans for me.
Devious, evil plans. Tune in tomorrow to find out what'll happen.
Yeah, hopefully I'll survive. Anyhow, with that, I think we've talked about everything we've played. Of course, chat, let us know what you've been up to lately. Well, of course, Buffoon Batman. Howdy. Nice to see you. I didn't see you pop in.
Hello.
And of course, Godless Weeb, I know you've been playing Animal Crossing, so if you've played anything else, I would be shocked. Pleasantly surprised, but Animal Crossing is taking over people's lives. It's a government conspiracy, I'm telling you. Anyhow.
Anyway, what we're getting...
Yes, all right. I'm getting distracted. I'm distracting myself. Catchup. So first, let's start with Catchup. Since we had a long hiatus, we're still catching up on those games, and today we're covering games from February 13th to February 20th. Let's get on with the first title, which is Luna the Shadow Dust.
Luna the Shadow Dust is a fully hand-animated point-and-click puzzle adventure brought to life through wordless storytelling, beautiful cinematics, and breathtaking original soundtrack.
I actually have spoken to the artist for this game.
Oh,
they were at Adventure X, not last year, but was it the year before? And I have kickstarted this game, and I played the demo at the Adventure X. it's really nice, really beautiful, and the puzzles. I imagine they ramp up as the further, because you basically you find this tower and you go up and up and up and up the tower sort of thing, and there are puzzles that you have to solve. And there's no dialogue. It's just you see these things and it's like, okay, so what's the puzzle here, and then you solve it basically and move on to the next room, into the next room, into the next room. It's really great. What I have played, I've really enjoyed it.
It looks beautiful. I love the whimsy. I really like the music they chose for the trailer. That's really fits the mood a lot. This looks fantastic.
Yeah, aesthetically, this game is so pleasing to look at. I'm just kind of sitting here in awe on this. I'm not a huge point and click adventure person, but I'm even almost like I might want to pick this up. This looks so good.
Yeah.
Like,
it may be that it's just that I wasn't in that generation of point and click gamers, but I just see Monkey Island and that's not appealing to me. This though is very appealing to me, just visually and tonally. It just looks fascinating. I may have to put this on my wish list as my foray. Yeah, it is developed by Lantern Studio, and costs 10% off right now at $17.99.
Yeah, it's £15.29. It's the week-long haul deal, so it's ends in 21 hours. So yeah, get on that quickly. It's standing at 91% positive with 442 reviews. So yeah, this is a really good one.
Yeah, I'm seeing anywhere between 3 and 10 hours on gameplay on folks so far.
So yeah, it's not. It is a bit pricey. I mean, I would maybe just knock a couple of quid off, because it's still quite long enough playing, but still it's for a game that you're not going to replay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly think if you would put this probably at a $15 price point or their regional equivalent, if I was looking at 15, it would be kind of a quick pickup sort of thing. But with it, ignoring any sale price, the $20, it would be, this may just kind of sit, stay, and almost die in my wish list until a sale comes along, because it's like, well, I don't know if I'm gonna pay $20 for that.
Yeah.
Let me see, what else have they done? Nope, this is their only thing. I was so certain that Lantern Studio would have done something else, but nope, this is their first thing on Steam.
Yeah, because it looks just so wonderful.
Really polished. This doesn't look like a first game, and probably a lot of the developers. I would imagine a lot of the developers have some prior experience.
Yeah, elsewhere, new company name or something of that sort.
It is not new. Our next game is not really a new game, but it is new to Steam. We have Florence.
Florence Yao feels a little stuck. Her life is an endless routine of work, sleep, and spending too much time on social media. Then one day, she meets a cello player named Krish, who changes everything about how she sees the world and herself.
Yeah, this was like as I would say, it's mobile game. So it was. This is about how, I suppose, like the mundanity can be of relationships and how they develop, grow, and all the bad things as well. So yeah, it's this one's been on my wish list. So I think I have to be in the kind of right mood to play it, though.
And from my understanding, it is a fairly short experience, so you really do want to be in the right mood to experience it.
It's around 30 minutes is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And it's like £4.79 for 30 minutes, which is a bit, that's a lot. That's a lot. Although this, I don't know. So there's definitely a charm to it, and it is standing at 94% positive with 944 reviews. So that's a lot.
It's $5.99 US, but this is also published by Annapurna, which they're sort of, I feel like they're known for shorter games that are really, really high quality. Because I feel like none of their games really do fit the price to time ratio. I feel like they never do, but they are always like really highly praised just because it is a very tight experience. It's developed by Mountains, which is based out of Melbourne, Victoria.
Let that one slide, Dewey. That's your one. You know what comes next. It's mostly so I'm doing a quick look on this to see if I can find it on the App Store just to see how much it is on there, because I know some they'll take their price up on Steam because of the cost to publish a game onto Steam.
The 30% cut, of course.
Yeah. So right now off of the Google Play Store it's $2.99 compared to the $5.99 sitting on Steam.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's probably partly publishing, because you have to pay $1,000 up front, which isn't that much for a game that's definitely going to sell a ton. But and then there's also the audience. Steam audience is probably willing to spend more money than the mobile audience upfront, at least.
Yeah, as I said, I think it's just a little bit of a kind of a cost get back of some sorts, because I honestly am sitting here going 30 minutes for $6. No, I'm good without.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna wait for a sale, and that sale better be 50% off or something.
Yeah, and it probably will be on sale sooner or later. So.
Because when I saw $3 on mobile, I was like, I could maybe justify the $3 on a mobile. Is what I thought. And it was like, if this was sitting at 99 cents for a half hour, that's kind of where I'm at, in all honesty.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I thought that was probably the most fair for a half-hour game.
Absolutely.
And this isn't looking at times of folks saying it's like, well, I beat this in a half hour and maybe they rushed through. This is the dev saying this is a half-hour experience. So
yeah.
They've won like almost every award imaginable, though.
So it's definitely quality of story, and the artwork's really nice, quite nice as well. So
goodness, yeah.
Alrighty. So as Goddess, we brought up about a lot of point-and-click games coming up in the last few years. Yeah, it's been quite a thing, because our next title is The Suicide of Rachel Foster.
Coming back to the family hotel after years, a young woman finds herself trapped with a ghost from her past, and an old cellular telephone is the only way to unveil a terrible truth.
Now, I wouldn't say this was point and click at all. I would say this is like it says on the
walking sim.
Yeah,
walking sim.
Yeah. Although they do, I understand that they do kind of run sort of like a similar
veins.
To attract, so it's like hidden object games, point and click games, and walking sims. They're all those kind of narratives, I feel.
I remember originally I had a pretty negative view of the idea of a walking sim. And then, of course, folks can attest to this. I think what initially opened my eyes to it was the idea of making, just traveling and exploring interesting. I think Firewatch was one of the early games. There's like, this is really interesting. So that's not exactly a walking sim, but it has a lot of those elements in it.
I think a good example of a good walking sim would be the Stanley Parable.
The Stanley Parable.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. No more do I really hear the term walking sim, and I'm like, ugh, I don't want to check this out. Now it's a little bit more interesting to me, but then it's like your narrative better be damn good.
Absolutely, because if you take away things like combat and sort of, and maybe a lot of puzzle elements, if this doesn't have any puzzles in it or something, we don't. Not sure. You've got to have something else. You've got to fill the space with something. So yeah, this story has to be really good. But funny when you said when you first heard about walking sims, I think when they first came out, they were very much kind of like sort of an art piece kind of thing, and it was just like. Yeah.
Demo.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, no, that's not what I want to play. The point is, it's a game. You're supposed to play a game, not just exist in it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's. I think that happens with a lot of genres. Sometimes the initial entry of a genre is groundbreaking. Is like, oh, this is fantastic. This is going to start something. And other times it's like, it's a thing. People enjoyed it, but it had so much more to evolve, so much more potential. And I think walking simulators have entered into that area where they're evolving into a fully fleshed out. And then you have Kojima make Death Stranding, which is literally a simulation of walking. Yeah. But that's not really the same. That's not really the same thing.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say there's an actual gameplay mechanic to it. This I would consider walking simulators more of an activity than a game.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to have to like describe or explain, but I would not call walking simulators a game. It's just it's an experience or an activity.
Yeah. I feel like for something to be a game, it has to have a certain amount of mechanics and rules and an end goal. Like, what is the victory or the defeat rules? Conditions. What are the conditions? Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. What are the conditions? And I think games that lack those, the more of experiences. It's something you're just kind of flowing through.
Yeah, this is explore the vast and detailed hotel, unraveling dark secrets of the family's past. By oral audio for truly immersive experience, intriguing, touching, and mature storytelling, multi-layered narrative thriller combining elements of mystery and horror.
Oh. And it's set in Lewis and Clark County. I have been there. That is interesting. Yes, so I've been there. It's in Montana. It's really pretty. But yeah, it is developed by the Italian studio 101 Games, and it's published by Daedalic Entertainment, which Daedalic Entertainment isn't generally known for publishing things that are bad.
Yeah, that's true.
The Suicide of Rachel Foster, their previous game was VR Ping Pong Pro, though.
Wow, this is a massive leap.
Step up, yeah.
Oh yeah, well, it does look. You can see like the assets they've used. They're very similar.
They are very similar, and I think they made VR Ping Pong Pro. It wasn't really well received, and also VR has a very narrow audience. At least right now, still it's getting broader, but it's still narrow audience. And so I think they really sort of were like, okay, what do we have? We know how to make buildings, we know how to make interiors, we know how to do all the set pieces. What do we do with that knowledge? And I think they really salvaged into something that's really neat. So.
Yeah, with mental health issues and all that, I know this is like a subject matter I won't go anywhere near, but like looking at everything, it looks pretty. I've been seeing a few complaints about some of like the motion blur at times too. But I know that's kind of an artistic choice sometimes, as long as stuff isn't kind of breaking or screen tearing or anything of that with some of the blur issues going on. But I don't know. It seems like a decent experience, but it's one that I personally am not going to go near.
Yeah, no, understandable. It's 33% off at £10 and 4p, which is a weird price. that stands up mostly positive with 73% positive, and there's 709 reviews.
Yep. And yeah, $12.05 at 33% off right now. $17.99 is the regular price. Again, a bit of a back in February, there seemed to be a preoccupation with this theme, but our next title is Death and Taxes. Although tax season was coming up in the U.S., so maybe that's why they released it then.
I mean, yeah, tax day is in 3 days in the U.S. minus the extension due to current situations. But yeah, this game I remember seeing everywhere for a while. Like, it was all over YouTube. So many Twitch people were playing this one. But yeah, Death and Taxes. In this 2D short narrative-based game, you assume the role of the Grim Reaper on an office job. Your job is to decide which people are going to live or die. The consequences of your choices are yours to bear, while the mystery of your incarnation awaits revelation.
Otherwise, I have to fire you.
So this is like Papers, Please, but
yeah,
another sort of Paper Please inspired game. Takes it to the sort of supernatural.
Yeah, and of course, every choice you make is you can see there's like this little globe sort of thing, and horrible things happen in it if you don't like do the right things. But I really like the art style. This has got this black and white mixed in with this beautiful color palette, like bright and everything. It's so unusual. I love it.
Yeah, the things that they want to stick out really do stick out.
Yeah.
I feel.
And it comes to sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
Oh, and there's a free demo as well, which is always really good. So.
That's an excellent aspect here. I feel like there's I think it's the Edinburgh Art School that started this thing where it's like grays, browns, etc., and then just splashes of red and blue is like a big thing there. I feel like that might be a continuation of this movement, of that sort of art movement. Maybe not intentional, but yeah, I do like how there's just like little splashes of color and a black and white world.
Special day.
Yeah, it says, have a totally normal office job. Talk to your boss. Get monies. Buy stuff from Mortimer's Plunder Emporium. Decorate your desk. Do some paperwork. Pet the cat. Stare in the mirror and talk to yourself. Don't let the existential dread set in. Don't let it set in. Only the fate of humankind is in your hands. It's 100% okay. Listen to that one really catchy tune in the elevator.
Well, they definitely have a sense of humor, so yeah. This is by Placeholder Gameworks, based out of Tartu, Estonia. And yeah, Estonia would be the country I would guess would make a game with this theme. So that's they have a lot of like comedy in Estonia that's very dark and like death related. I mean, they live in a bog, so the whole country is basically a bog. But yeah,
it's it's very positive. At 92% with 631 users reviews.
Yeah, looks fun, and it's $9.74 US, 25% off.
Oh yeah, £8.24.
And with that, we finished off the catch-up. I'm sorry, Tom.
No, you're fine.
No. Okay.
I noticed that the sale ended on April 20th. I thought it would make more sense if it was April 15th.
Oh, that would be funny. That would be cheeky. Yeah. It would be funny if they get there and then they announce that they're extending it until the next
see that would make sense.
That would be funny. That would be really funny. Alrighty. So now we're ready for the list, the real list. We're on to it. We're done with Catchup. So we're starting off our list with zombies because it's topical, and not actually because it was just released first. But yeah, Annie, Last Hope.
All right, Annie, Last Hope is a HD voxel top-down shooting game Story began in 1990s. There was an outbreak of an unknown creature invasion, and a couple got separated when escaping. Okay, Annie went on her difficult journey in search of her fiancé.
Yeah, there's a bit of English. I'm pretty sure this is a Chinese. Specifically, I think it's Taiwanese developed because they have traditional Chinese characters is one of the localizations. So there is a bit of English in the descriptions where it's like, oh, that's...
I was just thinking it was... The description was put in by someone with a bit of ADHD. Because it was... Okay. Story began in 1990s. There was an outbreak of an unknown creature. Hey, a couple got separated. Okay.
Yeah. Just kind of, it has that kind of like jagged, but to be fair, they fit everything that's pertinent into a little small blurb. So congrats on that. That's true. Just doesn't particularly flow very well.
No.
It looks nice. Oftentimes, I am not a fan of this voxel art style, but they seem to have done... I'm not seeing copy-paste assets from other games here. Also, the light work is excellent, so that's another thing. You can actually purchase assets, and if you know how to do light work, you can almost get away with it. So and this one does have some excellent light work, so very cool.
I wonder if this has been translated fully, because in the trailer I'm not seeing it.
The trailer's in Chinese. They claim that it has been, but I don't know. We're gonna have to like peek at the reviews maybe to see whether it has been properly localized. I mean the thing is with this whole pixel art style, I like the promo art. Where's the promo art? Do they have it here somewhere? So they have like I really like the art style, the 2D art style they used for the promo art, and it's like, man, I would have really liked it if they could have done the 3D art that was kind of more similar to that.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Because they have some stunning 2D art. And I get why they did the voxel look. I think it works fine. But it's pretty. It's a looker. 10% off. It is $8.99 US.
£6.47 here. 92% positive, 180 reviews. I'm wondering how long this is, because if it's like it is like a story. So I'm wondering.
Also, should I feel upset that the 1990s are being used as a retro setting?
No, you get used to it.
Okay.
You get used to it.
Get used to it. Okay.
I'm seeing about 5 hours max, sort of round about 5 hour mark, or less. So it's not long.
I'm not running into any issues on the like dialogue or localization for English or anything like that inside of there. I was seeing some early access reviews and all that where it's like, we still don't have controller support, and that was all the way back March 9th at that point, like a month before. I'm like, how do you have a twin stick shooter style game and not controller support? Like that's an early mechanic.
They claim full controller support now, so hopefully it is working. I definitely agree with Godless Weeb on this about the flaw of voxel art. It's hard to relate to the characters, and I think they did what they could here. I like how the characters all have different clothing, so that can kind of help. But yeah, I would feel it's so much more easy to associate with them, even if it was a low poly art style. But again, I kind of hate it now. There's examples where I like it, but I see it so often that I kind of hate it.
So this is kind of a nice little break from what we've been seeing. So it stands up on its own in a world of visuals that are starting to kind of blend in together.
Yeah, and the settings look beautiful.
Oh god, yeah.
Like the environments just look fantastic. So it's gorgeous. They could have done like pixel art, the voxel art for all the environments, and then just had done 3D models. Would have looked great. Anyhow, but yeah, that is Annie: Last Hope. So I hope you already had lunch, because after talking about just murdering the living dead, we're going to be traveling to the digestive tract of a cetacean. Sounds fun. In Gutwhale.
Gutwhale is a roguelite about managing the space between you and your ammo while fighting your way through a digestive system.
Oh dear.
Did the guys from Binding of Isaac have anything to do with this? Because this sounds right up Edward McMillan's alley.
This is 3 devs, Stuffed Wombat, Frantic, and Britt Brady. They are all just 3 different people. That's the total team. I don't think Stuffed Wombat has done something before. Yes, Stuffed Wombat developed Ord, Play, Ignore. And Frantic. Did Frantic do anything? Nope. And Britt Brady did the audio and is also the first project on Steam. So,
yeah.
Well, the first, like, developer credit. Yeah. So, I do like the theme where you just get crushed by a Volkswagen van. That's pretty funny. Very imaginative. And it seems mechanically how it works is you basically have to kill all the enemies on the level fast enough before you get crushed by the fan. Basically seems to be how it works. And every time you shoot a bullet, you have to pick up the bullet to use it again. So you have limited ammo, so you've got to go run around and grab the bullets. It's a lot more interesting and appealing, because at first it kind of looks like, oh, this looks like a mobile game kind of thing. No, there's a bit more design going on here. Not that there aren't well-designed mobile games, but yeah.
I like the mechanics. The theming is strange, but I like Binding Isaac, so I cannot make any complaints on that. There's a game that reminds me so much of this, and I'm blanking out on the name of it right now. But I don't know. It's oddly charming in its own weird way.
It says smooth gameplay, 3 areas with unique enemies, game-changing hats to unlock, full controller support. Beating the game is only the beginning to the end. You can reach the ending in about 1 to 7 hours. So
I'm really hoping you just don't end out in like a turd.
It wouldn't surprise me, quite frankly.
No, it really wouldn't. It looks sweet. It's only $4.49 at 10% off.
Yeah, it's £3.59. So yeah, it's quite a nice price if you playing so much. And it's 96% positive with 61 reviewers. Sorry.
They do specify you can reach the end in 1 to 7 hours, depending on your gameplay experience. So on the short end, it's a 1 hour long game.
Yeah, the reviews I'm running into, most everyone is saying that they got through it in about an hour or less.
Okay. So yeah, 1 hour is probably the fair amount. So yeah, $4.49. It's neat looking though. It is neat looking.
Yeah.
Gutwhale. We now get a break from all the blood and guts and digestive tracts in exchange for oil and shrapnel in Armed to the Gears.
Get ready for a lot of destruction and action strategy as you control a fully armored mech through cyberpunk cities, military bases, and industrial areas. Capturing and defending territories, build turrets and structures, collect resources, and advance the attack against powerful enemies.
The 3D art looks really well done. Yeah.
Really nice cutscenes as well as seeing, and the gameplay just looks so nice. Wow, this is very well polished game.
Yeah, it's got an excellent look to it. It does have 70% user reviews. So I'm wondering how good the balancing is. Perhaps that's the issue.
Oh, Peeves, I was like, this game doesn't work. Waste time installing, reinstalling. Dear. Seems like the game had the budget of an old chair and some gum, since it's constantly glitchy, broken, and simply not fun to play. And don't tell me the budget is an excuse. It was made using a tiny budget, and they managed to make a good game out of it. They're talking about another game, Judge, yeah. Looks pretty, but is rather boring. So yeah, that's the negatives I'm seeing. So it's all.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of mechanical issues. The
positives I'm seeing are mostly a focus on just the top-down shooting is enjoyable, but yeah, and of course about aesthetics. But yeah, there just seem to be about 30% of people pointed out that gave it a negative review so far. It is kind of interesting. You have to sift through a lot of early access, so.
Yeah. It's a shame because it seems like there's something that maybe had a lot of promise, and then maybe they've not been able to deliver on that. And because it's £4.31. It's 10% off right now, so it's not. Not particularly expensive.
Nope, it's not offensively priced. But yeah, this is by Dion Software. It's got some excellent aesthetic. I wonder what else they've done. Nope, this is their first one on Steam. So yeah.
There's I was just looking. 6 defensive maps where mission is to defend the center of the map from incoming waves. Captured reactors and generators will grant energy points used to teleport turrets, call air support into battlefield, and repair your robots. Customize your mech with different armors, fairings, and colors. 12 development options, 6 turret types, attack drones, landmines, barricades, repair station, upgrade your turrets, things like that. Multiple weapons types, including machine guns, lasers, plasma, electron cannons, grenades, and missile launchers. Defeat the enemy's army of cyborgs and mutants, war drones, etc. Credits collected in battle can later be used to repair structures. 15 achievements, leaderboards. And complete main menu, as if you'd have to put that on there to
We have a main menu, guys.
Yeah, it's like what?
Maybe that's something you don't need to include on your feature list.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the early access, we were missing half the menu.
Maybe.
There was an exit button with a coming soon next to the exit button.
That's so funny. Alrighty. But yeah, Armed to the Gears. It's not really up my alley, but I do feel like it's probably worth a try if you think this is up your alley as a RTS. But yeah, buyer beware. I've not seen any further patches after April 8th. So we shall see if future reviews end up doing them well or not. So due out in summer, our next title is a demo for Dreamscaper called Dreamscaper Prologue.
A surreal roguelike inspired action RPG with modernized hack and slash combat about lucid dreaming. Dreamscaper Prologue gets you familiar with the game mechanics to hone your skills in warping the dreamscape. Dream, die, wake, repeat.
An interesting way to sort of set up a... so they did say that it's roguelike inspired. They don't claim to actually be a roguelite. So...
I mean, it's their second... Oh, yeah, inspired. I was like, man, roguelike's the third word if you don't include the A. But...
Yeah, so they do say it's just inspired.
Yeah, they do.
So I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I suppose an RPG with roguelite elements is fine. But does that just make you a rogueliter? Or rogue lightly?
But I suppose it's a good job that this is a free prologue, so I suppose you can get to experience that and see how much
what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of these sorts of things, and I think it does help build up a bit of hype, especially if it's a really polished prologue. So it's a neat theme. I've always sort of been captivated by the idea that you go to another world when you dream. That's kind of just a neat idea. I always liked books that were sort of in that theme. So yeah, I'm glad that someone's taken that up. It's beautiful.
Yeah, so it looks really nice, and it says so when you're dreaming, you're confronting the nightmares and you're fighting things, and then in your waking life, you're building relationships, you're unlocking stories, and increasing your powers. So very interesting.
Yeah, they're saying 4 to 6 hours in the prologue. I'm going. At least the reviews on here have anywhere anywhere between 1 to 4 hours. And of course, that always varies on how far that they went in on their reviews
really nice.
too. Yeah.
And if it's a proper demo, that means it's 25 to less than 10% of the game. Well, yeah, less than 10%.
It's a prologue, so it might not. It might just
could be 5% of the game.
No, it might be a separate thing because, like, when we played, when I played that point and click game, it's a prologue that's sort of like a sort of separate story that is bringing you into the world rather than you're just playing like the beginning of what they're going to bring out.
Yeah, kind of like a mini prequel of sorts.
And I do actually prefer that even more because then what you're doing is you're actually just providing like a free mission, or a free set of experience. Like, is that how Backbone is going to work? I think it is.
Yeah, that's how Backbone's going to work.
Yeah, because so you need to play Backbone Prologue when Backbone someday comes out. You need to play Backbone Prologue before you jump into Backbone. So. Anyhow, this looks interesting. It's actually almost a low poly art style, but doesn't offend me. I do wish the character had a face, though. Just draw a little mouth and just little eyes. Maybe just pop a nose.
It's overwhelmingly positive with at 96%. And there's 575 reviews already.
Yep. So I'm really hoping that when summer comes around, the full game will be just as good.
Yeah.
Thursday, April 9th. Our next title. If you don't have a face, you might actually have one of these. A blind spot. Sorry, I had to make a connection somehow. That was bad. Sorry. It was really terrible.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to put you in a timeout for a second before.
You're so disappointed in me right now.
Man, I love the fact that I make those jokes and like I think nothing I hear someone else do, it's like, I will judge you.
Yeah. This is what we feel.
What have I done? Existential crisis. Hey, Blind Spot's a story-driven puzzle adventure game. Solve various puzzles all over the room to proceed and explore every detail of surroundings to find what really happened.
I don't know if the trailer is too vague or not. Or like the trailer summary, because it's like, you're in this house. There's a mystery. It's like, okay, I respect not showing the monster. I do appreciate that very much. I hate it when folks spoil it. But there's also a thing of like, why would I play this game over all the other haunted or creepy house games?
And even at the end of the trailer, it says, not all images are in the game.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, I really hate that. So, I wonder if this is like a more like creepy game though, and it's not. You know, there's like a monster hiding, like in those horror games, or if this is just like an adventure game where you are just going through like a creepy.
It is not described as a horror, but like. I would like to know what the mystery. What are we trying to solve? Is it's like, did your grandfather die and leave this weird estate that you never knew about? And like, why did he have it? Is that the mystery? Just give us something.
So here's what we have in the about. Waking up alone in the storeroom, the mansion you have been living in with your father and younger sister is somewhat different from what it used to be. A text message from a mysterious number makes you even more confused. So
Okay.
you've been living here, and things are a little different.
All right. So that's something. That is something.
This game is also available in VR.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
So there are 2 versions of this.
It does look very nice. Their glow effects are on the edge of being annoying. They're not quite there though. So good job on the light. You're almost there though. So had you been a smidgen brighter, I would be like eviscerating you for it.
Yeah. So immerse yourself in a story about psychological disorder, explore rooms, find items to reveal what really happened, follow your heart and decide what is the truth in the end. Over 20 unique puzzles. That's really, I suppose, not that many really. Depends on how many rooms there are, and traverse over 20 rooms. So yeah, each room has a puzzle then. So that's that doesn't seem so many to me, really.
No.
If each of the rooms are as interesting as a portal puzzle, maybe.
Then yeah.
That would be okay. But it is $11.69.
Yeah, 10% off at £9.26.
The VR version is $19.99.
Well, true. VR sells at a premium. All their games are like twice as much as it is.
Yep.
I'm seeing about 3. Well, the one that I can see is like 3 hours of gameplay.
There is a demo available.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it meant to sort of just amnesia? I mean, that's kind of a thing. And that's what Final Fantasy VII deals with. Well, that's not exactly amnesia. That's almost like... Well, there's an aspect of amnesia. I don't want to spoil Final Fantasy VII.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, it looks neat. It might be good. It really relies on how well it's presented and the writing and the pacing, though. So it only has 10 reviews. So even though it's 100% right now, I can't say it might be worth your time or not. You really got to take a gamble on this one.
Yeah. And if you do let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
Back to some good old-fashioned arcade. We've got Gunbrick Reloaded.
In a future where cars are obsolete, the Gunbrick has become a worldwide sensation. Encounter wasteland mutants, crazed nerds, law enforcement, and all manner of cube-based adversaries in this puzzle-packed platformer.
It's cute. I do believe there's a previous game of this, Nitrom. Yes. No, they made Bomb Chicken. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. They gave themselves a subtitle without having. Is there a Gunbrick original? I have to search this. Go on. I'm gonna search Gunbrick.
I mean, I like the way the art and everything. I think it's nice. It looks fun, and I like the colors and everything. And it looks like there's a mini game where the perspective changes as well.
Yeah, so it goes from they go through like different generations of games, sort of like that other. There's an RPG that does that.
Yeah, I know which one you mean. Evoland.
Yeah. Evoland, yes. And so they do kind of a sort of thing here. So they have isometric, 3D, and then they've got like the 2D, and then they've got that really old-fashioned 2D, and then they have top-down 2D. So they just do all these sort of different, and then they've got mini games as well. So there's a lot of interesting stuff here. So Gunbrick, so this is Gunbrick Reload, but there is a Gunbrick. It is a Flash game. So on the Nitrome's website, and it's free. So I think this is the successor to that. So that's why it has a subtitle.
Yeah, because I'm seeing they had Gunbrick SD, which was released as a mobile game, which is what they used for the base of this one as well. So we may have a trilogy going here: a Flash mobile, and then Steam potentially.
Interesting.
Man, it looks like a good little box moving puzzle game with a couple of different points of like, you have one where you have to do like the kind of the weird rotate the blocks game. You have almost a platformer with a box. I don't know. It looks cute. Weird, wacky. I'm trying to find roughly like how long the gameplay is, because right now it's $14.99 normally, 20% off, bringing it down to $11.99.
Right, yeah, that's substantial. Yeah,
I begrudge it less, because if it had just been the one like brick moving, the 2D platformer, they seem to have more than just that.
Exactly.
It says roll your way through jam-packed worlds set over 5 unique locations. Put that grey matter to the test with some seriously crafty puzzles. Use your shield to defend and your gun to attack. So handy against knife-wielding punks and crazed mutants. Face your gun down to perform a rocket jump. Epic boss fights, including a thrilling chainsaw deathmatch. Unlock hidden levels, opening a whole new perspective. Can you find them all? So yeah, this is like, it's a lot. There's a lot, and I'm wondering if it's gonna like appeal to people who like, you know, more like the action things, and than the people who like more the puzzle things. This is the problem when you get like two sort of genres mashed together. It's like you can't please everybody.
That may not go well together.
So there are 5 worlds, and so they showed a screenshot. One of the worlds has 12 levels. So
Right.
that is an aspect of it as well, where the games actually, when they just say 5 worlds, it may actually be significantly larger in scope than that.
Yeah.
Like possibly 60 levels. Dang. Okay. It looks fun. Again, probably, I'm probably not going to pick this up, at least right now. If it ends up in a Humble Bundle, I'll probably pick this game, though.
Yeah. It's at 20% off right now, but £9.59. Yeah.
It is really cute, though.
It is.
Whew. Our next title is entitled the same way that some folks might refer to their principal, the Ancient Enemy.
Oh, that's what I call Dewey.
I'm not that old.
Well, especially after our games of our mellow, you turned into the Ancient Enemy.
I was pretty mean.
No words. I was a monster. Ancient Enemy is an RPG card battler set in a crumbling world where the forces of evil have already won. Blast distorted enemies and with a satisfying range of spells and abilities. Journey into a scarred wilderness and draw power and hope from the landscape to defeat the deadliest foe of all.
So the devs here, Grey Alien Games, they're really experienced with card games. Like, they have a bunch of solitaire games that they've developed, and they have a few other card RPGs. So this is their newest one. I will say, visually, this one is the most interesting so far. Yeah.
Obviously I'm not an expert on card games at all. I'm just wondering, compared to other card games, like,
it's nothing to slay the spire.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anything will quite match that, but to me, this doesn't look like other card games that we've looked at. You know, there's nothing really that sticks out, and
yeah.
But then again, the gameplay might be really fun instead.
Well, this one does stick out in that there were probably a couple dozen card games that came out this last week. And this was the only one that looked serviceable.
That doesn't sound great. It's like, this was the best out of the bad bunch. It's not what you want to hear.
To the degree in that I'm actually interested in the mechanics of this game. It has a different layout. They seem to have multiple different game modes. So I am just extremely curious about this one, and I might actually check it out, just because mechanically, visually, it's at the point where it's like, okay, you put in visual effort. Like, they have multiple sprites for the enemies, they've got some different effects, so they put in some effort. I appreciate that, and of course they're an experienced card game developer. So yeah, that's probably why I would give this game a chance.
Yeah, and sorry, Tom.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, and it's that like 100% like reviews with 72% reviewers, so that's like that's pretty good going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the card art, like the actual like characters themselves battling. Like I like the little animations, but looking at kind of what looks like I would consider it like free cell battle board, the artwork, and it's probably more for clarity than anything else. So you can see the numbers, you can see like the lightning, the swooshy, or the almost like the number 8 infinity symbol. So it's clear, but I don't know, it's boring.
Yeah, agree. Completely agree.
Yeah. They could have gone less minimalist.
Yeah, and even seeing like the cards that you use out of your what I'm assuming is you're using out of your hand, even the artwork on that is just really basic. Like there's one where it's like what looks like an iron skin hand, and I just like, I'm not artistic in any way, and I could make that an MS Paint real quick.
Yep.
This is 15% off right now at £9.68. So
yep. It is $12.74 US at 15% off, of course. Yeah. So yeah, a bit pricier than what I would pick it up for. But I am oftentimes like in the market for a solitaire game. Yep. Ancient Enemy. Alrighty. I don't have a way to introduce this, but the Procession to Calvary. It came out at an acceptable time, I suppose.
I was gonna say, if you're looking for an enlightening experience, I would suggest this game for us next. Procession to Calvary.
Yeah. Pilfer from pirates, conspire with cardinals, and perform miracles with an incompetent magician. The Procession to Calvary is a Python-esque adventure game made from Renaissance paintings and a spiritual successor to the critically acclaimed Four Last Things.
Oh, I've been wanting to talk about this for ages. So I've played Four Last Things, and originally this is a sequel. Although when they first brought out the Kickstarter, it was going to be a direct sequel to Four Last Things, and they were going to use the same protagonist in it. But then he, during development, changed his mind and completely changed the character and everything. So it's like and a bit of the story. So I'm really curious on how this plays and everything. And I met the guy, and he's really nice, and he always prices games like very reasonably, and he says he gets annoyed that people would want his games cheaper, because he does them like fairly, like really reasonably, and they're so great. The music's great in them as well. There's because they're using these Renaissance paintings and everything, they'll do like this kind of like sort of opera music sort of thing, and it's really, really beautiful. The puzzles are great. It's really funny. I just love his work. I just love his work.
I do like the use of, and this is something that he's done with all of his previous games. So it just all of them have this very interesting aesthetic choice of just utilizing paintings and turning them into sprites. He does that with all of his games. Joe Richardson. Yeah, it looks fascinating. So is he based out of the UK?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Monty Python. He probably would be based out of the UK.
I would like definitely recommend people get Four Last Things. Although this isn't quite a direct sequel, it's just you get a really good idea of like what the game's going to be like, basically.
What the logic will be.
Yeah, and they are quite. You really have to think about the puzzles. They're not just like super easy or anything like that. So I'm hoping this one, maybe it might be bigger in scope, and it also has puzzles that make that story flow a bit better, because there was a lot you do have to quite a lot of thinking with the other game, definitely. But yeah, it's 10% off right now at £7.19. 100% user reviews, of 51 people have reviewed it.
Damn.
Down.
It looks fun. That said, this art style is really neat and interesting, and I always find it clever. It's never been particularly appealing to me. just the like the collage sort of style of it is just like, it's just not visually appealing to me. But I'm sure the humor would probably be great, because there's a reason why Renaissance paintings are used in memes so much. Because they are really funny.
Yeah, the humor's great in this. I love it. Or in Four Last Things, anyway.
Our next title is significantly less of that humor, but is also a puzzle game. It is called Mask of Mists.
Mask of Mists is a action-adventure game in a first-person view in which you are immersed in exploring the world full of magic and dangers.
For some reason, I thought he said magic multiple times, but no, it's just that Mask of Mists. Like, say that 10 times fast. It just ends up, there's just a lot of alliteration. Visually, it looks pleasant. Are there any NPCs, or is it just you in this puzzle?
I was gonna say I don't like the way it looks.
Oh, really?
It's like a lot of it is one color, like purple and blues, and it's kind of like a shrouded sort of thing. It looks, even if you're in like a building or something like that, it just looks really kind of dull.
I don't know. It's got that kind of fairy fantasy blues purple, at least within like the one dungeon I'm looking at. But otherwise, like some of the outside levels, at least where I'm seeing,
there does seem to be a haze that you're talking about. I see a haze and everything.
Yeah.
So there is that. Yeah.
I guess I'm just not really seeing it.
I do like the visuals, so I suppose we have a difference of opinion. But yeah, there is like right here. There's a lot of purple. That is a lot of purple. And yeah, they could definitely vary their palette a bit more. But I think the sort of cartoony look services to what it has going. But yeah.
Yeah, within the dungeons, it's a little same colory, meh. But I don't know. The second I'm on the outsides, or at least the outside view, I'm a fan of that. I like how that looks. But
apparently, the game ends once you find the legendary artifact. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, because it's like, this outside bit is just so kind of like green and grey, and then it's like in one of the dungeons, it's kind of like just sort of turquoise color, then all purple, and then all green and with yellow. With orange, and it's just like. So it's kind of like they've just taken one. It'd be one color sort of thing for one room with.
Yeah.
That is kind of a very retro logic, isn't it? As far as level design, that is very old-fashioned level design. Yep.
They're in a cabin, and it's like just brown wood and you've got the windows, but it's just mainly brown, and it's just like, wow, why would you do that?
Yeah, and it is all the same timbre of brown. Yeah,
because I mean the stained glass is pretty though, and because of all the brown, it royally stands out.
Wow.
But...
yeah, but that's it. It's like you've got three things of color, and then the rest of it, there's nothing that really sticks out. So it's like, what? It just looks visually odd to me.
Yeah, I am seeing what you're talking about. But yeah, yep. Mask of Mists. It currently has a 90% positive review, but with only 11 reviews. I don't imagine this game is particularly long. I could be wrong, but it is ultimately, it's not, I don't think it's narratively interesting either, because it is all about, you're trying to get a legendary artifact, and once you get the legendary artifact, you're done. So it seems just solve the puzzles, get the legendary artifact.
Yeah, I'm seeing anything between like 3 to 6 hours for it. So and it's 25% off so it's £8.54. So
other games from this developer is Planet RIX 13, which came out in 2017 and is pixel art. Also, they do a lot of the same color thing.
Oh dear.
Oh boy.
And Neon Junctions is their other game, which is 3D. Yeah, they seem to have a particular thing of wanting to do a lot of colors of the same in the same setting. But you know what? I don't think it's particularly bad. But I could see how it could get annoying for someone who wants to see a bit of visual variety. Their outdoor scenes, like the one on the screen right now, does look really good, though. Okay. That is Mask of Mists. It is 11:24. All right, our next title is Blind Blade 2.
Blind Blade 2 is a sequel to the first generation product. In this generation, the game has 21 extremely difficult levels. Players can only pass all the challenges if they stay focused and brave and persevering like a real samurai.
I think this is really clever. It's interesting where you have... Basically, you just like have sound bouncing off of stuff, and so you figure out what the shape of things are, and you basically have to guess where people are using that. So it's an interesting idea, albeit I think it could take a lot of getting used to how that works.
English is not supported as a heads up.
Oh, okay. That is also good to know.
Yeah, a blind bladesman, the main character, and his powerful perception, that is you. 17 story levels and 4 entertainment levels need to unlock gradually. 4 level traps. He is blind and needs you to perceive and distinguish these traps. 6 different types of enemy arms. He is blind and needs you to feel, distinguish, and defeat these enemies. He needs me to feel.
Yes, we know he's blind.
Yes.
Hello, I can't tell what you are. Let me just feel you for a while.
The pixel art that is there is well done. I think I'm almost like, oh, was this a clever way to limit how much you have to develop in order to make a minimum viable product? Because that's always clever to me, because it seems the background is just black. There's a few like elements. The sprite work is well done. And then you have this sort of ring effect and like planning out where the echoes stop, etc., and how that works. So that probably took a lot of effort right there.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting to me, like how they were able to make it, very minimal.
It's obviously not for me, but yeah, I find it definitely an intriguing idea, and it's 15% off right now, and it's £1.43. So if it's something that it does interest you and you want to give this a go, then it's only just over £1.
Yep, $1.69. This is developed by Beijing Weimo Tech. And they've not done anything else on Steam. I'm pretty sure I've seen that studio elsewhere, though, so I'm pretty sure they've made other things, but just not on Steam. Radio General, as Radio Tom has stuff to talk about this one.
Oh, I'm excited for this one. So Radio General, it's World War II. You are a general sitting in a tent. All you have is a map and a radio. Can you win the battle? Radio General is a unique strategy game where you interact with your units over the radio using speech recognition. Test your mettle and relive famous battles as a World War II general. So I ran into this game over the week, and I've been watching the developer play this, and the fact that it is speech recognition gameplay, and it's one of those, so like, yeah, you are sitting in a tent, the pieces do not move for you have to kind of keep track of where your units are when they report back into you. It's all based off of kind of like grid-based movement, kind of think of Battleship. But the nice thing too is, say you don't have a microphone and you still want to play this, you can still use mouse and keyboard to punch in the commands. They do a lot of things to make life really easy, so you don't have to remember every little command out there. Like when you start giving commands, you can see on the radio in the background what units are available to talk to, who you're listening in, and when you start saying stuff, it'll kind of give you almost like a speech tree of like, oh, you could say this next after this unit. You can order multiple units to do things. I don't know, everything about this just looks stupidly unique, and I was a little bit worried about how it would actually function until actually watching the dev play this and seeing how stupidly smooth this thing runs. I don't think he ever ran into like once where it was like, we don't know what you're saying.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really that's a lot of development that goes into voice recognition.
What accent did he have though?
He did have your general American accent. He's broadcasting right now.
And that's the thing. I would wonder. With so many different kind of English accents, I would American accents. I would wonder, if maybe someone's going to come across like a problem.
Yeah, I've been seeing from some European folks at least reviewing, saying they've had a few little hiccups on occasion, but nothing too terrible. And if they do run into an issue, it's now I can just click commands over on the side.
Yeah.
So there is a backup if there are any issues to it.
It is localized in multiple languages too, which I was not expecting. Like, if any game is going to be an English-only game, I was expecting this game. He might, to help with development, I would not be surprised if he got a license for voice recognition software from, like, say, Google or Facebook or who they've already ironed out a lot of the issues for him. I could see purchasing a license for that. Yeah. And I would not blame him for that, because building that up, why recreate the wheel? So yeah, but I am impressed that it is available in Spanish, Russian, French, and German. Although full audio is only in English, so I wonder if the voice commands also work in those other languages. I would expect them to. Yeah,
I think it's just the troop replies back, because of course you say something to a troop, they radio back to you. I'm wondering if they only radio back in English, but it recognizes other languages when you're saying it to them, as in maybe they don't have the kind of the voice acting clips in for everything.
Oh, interesting.
That's a speculation, stab in the dark.
But you're gonna maybe play this
it's one of those, like, I really love the mechanics to this game, but I'm not a World War sim sort of person. Like this type of strategy is really out of my wheelhouse. but the mechanics alone and the fact that it has radio in the name, I'm just like, man, I might have to pick this up and give this a whirl this week. So we'll see come Wednesday. I very much want to pick this up. It's one that I would love to try to record and review, but I also don't know with my microphone and setup if I'm going to be able to capture gameplay and do stuff with it. So I'm a little bit in the air on this one still.
Right. Okay. I would love to see you play this, because then, you know, dive right in and see how you get on with it. So yeah, it was good.
A game like this sort of reminds me of the inverse of what was that listening mystery game that we had a while ago? Unheard, yes. So this is kind of like the inverse of that, where you're like, have a game where it's all about listening very carefully and figuring out what's going on, and this one's about speaking very carefully and what are you going to say and have things done. I'm really excited for more future interesting audio mechanics that are continuing to come out as audio technology is improved, because I remember console games, I tested the Xbox, and there were always like these voice command gimmicks, and that's all they were gimmicks. They weren't an important part of the game, and it's really cool to see games actually make something out of that mechanic.
I do like they have a fail-safe on this one too. If there are issues, it's a simple just go in and start clicking, so it's not, oh, I've lost this mission completely, because I don't know if it's like a campaign style playthrough or you're just doing select missions. So at least there's backup options.
Yeah, absolutely. This one is 89% positive with 75 users and 10% off right now at £13.94.
Yeah, this is really a cool idea. I don't think it's a game that's up my alley, but I just find it fascinating, the design. So yeah. And the developer is Foolish Mortals.
Yeah, he's and if you want to catch him, he generally is broadcasting this on Steam. And he's live right now, and that's where I've been watching this. If you want to see more to it.
Yep. And Radio General is the studio's first game on Steam. Alrighty. We're to our last day of the release list, but we have 4 games that came out on Friday, April 10th, the first of which is Deep, in the Forest.
Deep, in the Forest game is a deck-building roguelike card game with RPG elements.
Second card game.
Save the Forest Kingdom from the oppression of the Mad King. The game is developed by a small team of 2 people, fans of the genre. We want to create our own unique game, and we hope you like it.
Oh, thank you.
So, on the nose, I was like, oh, the premise sounds like Armello. But, I mean, Mad King, you gotta have the Mad King. There's many fantasy worlds that do have it. I will say I forgot about this one game being a card game, but yeah, this one looks a lot better than Ancient Enemy.
I mean, yeah, it does. It's got a mousey in it. There's a mousey.
That is true.
and he's wearing a winter coat with gloves. And so cute.
1 star for the mousey. So
the art style of this looks directly off of a board game that I really enjoy called Root. Which is their art style, the rats, the mice, 100% looks like this game. And I don't know if they were inspired by that in the slightest, but that's kind of what I'm seeing right now is the Root, the board game. But now that's a sort of a worker placement. It's a very strange game to try to describe because every faction works 100% differently, more of an activity than anything else, and I'm not talking about this in the slightest. I like the critter artwork. It's another case of I'm not a fan of the way the cards look.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's especially looking at the hand just sitting down below. It's very simple, very plain. I mean, I don't know. There's no real flavor or kind of stylistic choice when it comes to even like the text on the card, where you see like this really adorable cartoon background, and then the cards are just meh.
Yeah, I think the cards here could have really benefited from painting out a scene on them, like Magic cards. And the thing is, with the gameplay of this game, I feel like it would have benefited from that because you have more screen space for the cards. So you can more easily present a picture. Whereas with Ancient Enemy being like a free cell type game, they may have an excuse for being simple, although they probably shouldn't be that simple. Here they could have really done more with the cards.
Yeah, and there are some cards, ignoring the information section, that like the little symbols in the middle look kind of nice. Like there's the claw that actually looks kind of cool. So I don't know. It's one of those, like, the symbology and clarity is great. I'll give you credit for that. I'm looking at this going, oh cool. This strikes 1 for each 2 armor. Draw 1, discard 1. I see that clearly on a very small thumbnail. That's actually really good. But it's kind of boring and plain and mundane.
Yeah. Completely agree.
But it does have a mouse.
It does have a mouse, though.
It has a mousey and a trash panda and a bunny and a squirrel.
But mainly a mouse.
Yes,
mainly a mouse. I'm so sorry. I buried the lead.
Yes. It's £10.29, and there's only 9 user reviews, so there's not rating it.
Yep. And the developer is Satur Entertainment, who they've done Sky of Destruction, Hex Lab, Aircraft Evolution, Mind Maze, Stellatum, and Microcosmum. Deep in the Forest is a real, like, deviation from their previous styles, which are all kind of like very neon and futuristic and scientific and stuff.
Yeah, I do really, minus the card beef, I really like this art style. It's adorable.
It is adorable. I want to check it out. I'm a sucker for card games. It's $12.99 US. So from cute to not, we have Alder's Blood.
Alder's Blood is a tactical strategy with stealth-based combat, RPG elements, crafting, resources gathering and management, exploration, and rich storyline. Set in a grim world where mankind killed their god and is facing extinction.
The wilds lie stained in shadow.
Well, okay then.
Humanity hovers on the brink of desolation. The end of his days.
This is like very well done artwork, and it just looks.
You can call me.
It looks very interesting, like visually. There was a prologue for this as well.
Yes, there was a free prologue for this, and I think we even talked about it. Yeah. So this, so one thing about the art, it looks like a mix of Darkest Dungeon and Banner Saga, which is two excellent things to combine. Like, it's like, let's have like this hot actor and this hot actor, just smash them together and have kids. That's basically what happened here. Like, it's like you and you.
I feel like we need to put a censor bar over you right now, dude.
It was
getting a little graphic.
It was great. So this great combination.
But yeah, twisted Lovecraftian atmosphere, complex tactical combat, rich lore and RPG mechanics, diverse crafting, weapons, charms, equipment and consumables, squad-based strategy, over 70 missions, plan management, over 10 hours of main story gameplay, over 40 hours including side quests, massive world to explore, unique mechanic, odor and scent.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there is a scent mechanic. You have to pay attention to the direction of the wind because your scent carries on the wind. And so if you have a creature that is downwind from you, they will detect you even if you're on the other side of the map. And they will start to follow your scent. It's freaky, man. So you have to pay attention like where the wind is going.
Oh, I see. But 40 hours with all side quests and everything. I think that's really, really substantial, and with the artwork as well, it looks nice. They seem to put like a lot of effort into it and everything, and it is 25% off right now, £11.61, and it's at 73% positive with 38 reviews. So,
Yep.
Sorry, Tom, what were you going to say?
Well, I was starting to go through reviews, so I may have slightly. Oh no, there it is. It says Lovecraftian, and I'm just not seeing anything Lovecraft to it. Of like maybe a little bit of cult, but there's no like distinguishable monsters. It's a weird word to put in when there's zero Lovecraft put into it.
Yeah.
Like Lovecraft inspired, maybe, but not Lovecraftian.
Yeah, I think they're trying to express a bit of the mood, but I can see that. I can see that argument.
The main issue that people put down is that it's got lots of bugs in the game.
I mean, it looks good.
And then someone says, great art that pulls attention away from some really horrid design choices. Including missions without objectives, hard to read maps with invisible dead ends, and terribly animated characters that made it to the final product alongside the fantastic 2D artwork. But releasing a game with bugged save system that throws a wrench in you trying to play despite the problems is a deal breaker for me. I don't think this can be repaired, because fixing the main issues would basically mean redoing most of those mechanics.
Dang. Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah. Damn, that's quite a negative.
Yeah.
Even with that all said, I think there's a contender for best of the week as far as most promising. It really depends on whether folks can finish the game despite that. Like that save issue needs to be fixed. I can see some of the people do still complain about Darkest Dungeon, and this is one of the reasons why they added the Radiant mode for Darkest Dungeon, is because they're like, the game is too punishing, it's bad. And I would suspect there would be some negativity about this game, because it seems to be very much hoping to grab that similar mood. But the save issues, that's really bad. That needs to be fixed. Yep. I don't see any news beyond their release news. So, but it just released 2 days ago. Don't know if they'll be doing patches. This is cool.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll have to see the next few weeks if it does.
It's a little bit too oppressive of an atmosphere for me to put on my wish list, though. I love the art, but I cannot play a game that is so oppressive and it's like dark, sad, upsetting. It's a very cool art style. But Darkest Dungeon is like my limit, and it's pretty close to my limit. Yep. So yeah,
so
Alder's Blood. Yeah, and it's $14.99, which is a bargain for a 40-hour game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Some maybe a bit more wholesome. Our next title is Heal.
Guide an old man through the dark and atmospheric world of Heal in this abstract 2D puzzle adventure point-and-click game.
The side-scrolling point-and-click games I find like very interesting, because when you're walking past them, it will sort of like highlight where you can click, sort of thing. So it almost eliminates completely the need for that sort of pixel hunting. But so I'm wondering, you know, how good are the puzzles?
True. Well,
They might be
Jesse
very
Makkonen, he developed Distraint and Distraint 2 and Silence of the Sleep. So that's this developer's no rookie.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I have a Distraint. It's very good. It's a very good developer. I am curious. I'm surprised actually you didn't like announce. You know, sometimes like games that you've already got, they'll like announce that. Oh, if you like this, then
come and take a look at this.
Yeah.
I recently got one really exciting one because apparently Rogue Legacy 2 is coming out. Sorry, just typed.
But yeah, it's I don't know. It's for me. I'm not sure if I like this sort of very silent kind of you're just going through kind of the world. There's no real, I don't know, like a mystery or anything like that. You're just like, there's just sort of melancholy and you're just trying to make your way through or something.
Yeah, that's the thing. The mood on this game is very much melancholy. It's not supposedly horror, which I was suspecting.
Yeah, especially with the music going on in the background of the game.
But it's apparently not horror. It is mystery. There's just some unnerving things. But
he may fall over. Oh no!
Oh, I've fallen over. Yep. But yeah, so this is so the art was handmade in Finland. So they say no cheap tricks.
Yeah, and this is a very little dialogue and text in here. Instead, the narrative is driven by a strong and obscure atmosphere. Oh, yeah. I suppose when I do play point-and-click games, it is kind of like there's a mystery to be solved, or there's like this really great story that I'm exploring, and I need that sort of dialogue. Definitely not too on the wordy side, because like games like Randall's Monday I absolutely find so annoying because you're bogged down with too much dialogue instead. So yeah, you have to have a good balance. So I don't know. But then again, the Ream 3, that is something that doesn't have a lot of dialogue. There are clues and the narrative and everything, and there are things you can read through, but it's very minimal. Whereas, so it gives you that great atmosphere and a great story, and yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's one I have to see someone play a bit of first for me to actually fully appreciate this. Perhaps.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel you on that. And I mean, it's normally $6.99. It's 10% off at $6.29 right now. I'm seeing about an hour, 2 hours of gameplay onto it. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence on this one. It's not anything. I'm not throwing it on my wish list. I would almost kind of want to see someone give it a shot. I like the puzzles that I'm seeing on this. I'm a fan of that style of puzzle, but I don't know.
If this was not from a developer who I know makes quality games, on the faces of it, I would not be interested at all. But because I do know their previous past work, and I can kind of see that touch in the sort of art style and setting, like, this might be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. It's £4.67. Yeah.
Our final title is Startup Company.
I'm almost there. I'll start doing my word reading thing here soon. Startup Company is a business simulation sandbox game where you're the CEO of a new company. Your job is to build your very own website and compete against the largest tech giants on the planet.
With that settled, I started hiring.
Hasn't this been like a long time coming?
I think it's been in development for a very long time, or in early access.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You name it. Everyone was
Okay,
Yeah, so it's finally, the full release is out now.
Of course, we had to make sure our investors were happy.
Did I? No, this isn't. I thought I have something similar to this kind of game.
The arts, so sorry. The art style and everything I'm running into on this, it's screaming game dev tycoon.
Yeah, that's the one I've got. That's the one I've got. Yeah, and including from the sort of like title thumbnail sort of thing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Started flowing in. We expanded like never before. Bigger servers, new
But yeah, it's got those like very sort of simplistic assets and everything. That kind of management simulation, kind of those builders. It's all into that kind of gameplay sort of thing that I do like. But I don't know. I think we've spoken about this before. What I am looking for is that kind of builder sort of management game with story, with narrative. That's
like
what
restaurant series.
Yes. I will never find a game like that again, and it saddens me every time. Time.
I don't like simulators, but I've liked every simulator I've played that had a story, and those aren't very common. So, yeah. Because I feel like it gives me more motivation to get good at the simulation if I have some sort of narrative behind it. Also, I really miss my cubicle. My mug is still there.
Oh no!
My mug and my stapler. No, I don't have a stapler, but
But you might have.
I just want to work in my office. I want to talk to my annoying coworker who has terrible taste.
80% positive, 3,184 reviews. So yeah, this is. I mean, we've seen this type of game. This has been out in development for early access, for a while. So you know what this is about. We're just letting you know it's full release.
And the recent reviews are 83%. So it didn't release and then get a bunch of negative reviews, which we can see happen a lot. But it seems that people are generally satisfied with the final product. So that's good. And it's been developed by Hovgard. I don't know how to pronounce Danish. If it's a Danish studio. Anyhow. Yep.
It's £10.29. So yeah.
Yep. $12.99 US. And with that, that is our release list.
Yay.
That is it. Yeah. Yeah. That is the release list. And so we of course have a question. What game won the week for you? And so Tom, what was your favorite game of this week?
All right. Well, I'm going to keep doing what I did in previous times. I'll do one from Catchup, and then I'll do one from the regular list. In the Catchup, it's going to... if it wouldn't be for the fact I saw it all over the place, it would have gone Death and Taxes, but I saw that a little bit too much all over the place. The one that I really want to see get a whole lot more attention, just the way it looks, is Luna, the Shadow Dust. That it looks so good. Oh, it looks beautiful. It's point and clicks, not normally my cup of tea, but I really want to try this. So my best of the week in the Catchup. It's gonna go to Luna the Shadow Dust. And that was the Catchup. Let's go to the mustard. That is the main list. And my once a week allotment of saying my tight and juicy game of the
week. I was thinking today, I was wondering when you were gonna say that.
And he said tight earlier too, and I made a deal of I didn't say it. I gave you your one chance So I had to bring it somewhere. So my that category game of the week, for me, it's got to go to Radio General. I like the
Radio
mechanics. It is the most unique looking. It looks well done, well put together. It's, as I said, war strategy, not my cup of tea, but I want to give it a shot just due to the mechanics alone. It's probably the most unique standout that we have on the list this week. So yeah, Radio General is the Radio Tom pick of the week.
Yep. All right. How about you, Roadypie? What is your favorite game of the week?
I think for Catchup, I totally agree with Radio Tom. Luna, the Shadow Dust. I mean, when I played, the bit that I have played was just delightful. It flows really well, pacing wise, from going through the puzzles and everything, and the fact that it has no there's nothing spoken or no narrative in it, and you can just quickly decipher what you need to do. I think it's very good game design, and it just looks beautiful as well. And I think for my pick of this week, the Procession to Calvary. It has to be Four Last Things. I think that was hilarious, and this game seems to be along the same thing as well. I just haven't got around to playing it, even though I backed it on Kickstarter because of my backlog. but yeah, I definitely play this probably in the near future for sure.
Alrighty. Yep. Yeah, and it looks fun. And the thing is, when it comes to my top game, in the backlog, it's a 3 for 3 this week. Lunar the Shadow Dust is definitely my pick of the week. And honestly, I would pick this as like the pick of the show. Would be Luna the Shadow Dust. It's just the coolest looking big game. Also, the animation reminds me of that silent animated movie, The Snowman. Yeah. It just immediately reminded me of that, along with the music. And then for this week, I think I'm going to have to say, even though I'm not going to get it myself, I think Alder's Blood is the game that stands out the most to me.
Really? I'm almost surprised with how dark it is.
Yeah. It's not just the style of it is just so striking to me. I really hope it gets its issues addressed and it gets fixed. But yeah, I think this game is the game of the week that stands out the most to me, outside of Luna. Luna, that's on my wish list. I gotta play that game. That is fantastic looking. So, but yeah. Of course, chat, let us know what your game of the week was, of course. And yeah. We need to do some shameless plugging before we leave. So first of all, Rhodey, tell us, what are you up to? Like, what are your plans?
I'm hoping to continue with Whispers of the Machine this week, because hopefully me and Akio can figure out what we need to do next and make headway with it, because it is a very interesting story. I just really dislike the mechanics of the game. At first I was really liking it because it was going like, the pacing was going fairly well. I was thinking, okay, it's just difficult. The best way to describe how to design a good puzzle is the answer should always be at the tip of your tongue. It's just at the tip of your tongue. And you know what you kind of need to, you just sort of, play around with it until you get the right answer. And where I feel like as it's going on, we're getting less of that. It's just like, okay, so what am I supposed to do now? Where am I supposed to look? It's less and less of that. But you can find me at twitch.tv/Roadypie. And of course, don't forget to catch us on the SR podcast on the at Steam on the Steam curator page, and let me put a link for you right there.
Yep.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yay!
Yee. And on YouTube.
Yes, and on YouTube. So, and of course, Radio Tom. What about you?
You can find me still trapped here, where they've released me every about every other week to be on here for a couple of hours. That's where you find me. Otherwise, you can find me over at TheRadioTomFM here on Twitch. I try to stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but with everything going on in the world, a little bit of mental health issues, it's been a little rough. You can also search the Radio Tom over on YouTube as well. Hopeful this week that we're going to get a couple video game reviews coming up this week. So fingers crossed. I just got to keep my motivation going in these hard and trying times. So and hopefully tomorrow night, depending on what we end up playing, hopefully Dewey and I may be streaming something tomorrow.
Yep.
I'm going to pretend like I already know what that is, which I clearly currently don't.
Teach me, senpai. I mean, it doesn't have to be something I'm completely new to either, so just feel pretty free about that, and if you need any suggestions, just hit me up. So
I have a few ideas.
Okay. I mean, there's always Mound Your Friends, so
but 6 feet apart edition.
Yes. All right, and as for me, I have been trying to stream on a single player game on Tuesday, which I've been doing better at, and of course a multiplayer game with my brother on Wednesdays, but of course my brother wasn't available. He's been sick, but I think he's on the upswing this week, so hopefully we'll be able to do some co-op again, perhaps some more Division because appropriate. And it's been weird. I felt like I've been in a rut, even though I'm not. I shouldn't be. Like, things are fine. I've got a great place to live now. Finances are doing fantastic. It's just that I'm stuck in a house. So now I'm doing everything I can to really inspire my nesting instinct. So decorating the house, doing whatever I can to keep myself occupied. So yes, we'll be back next week. And yeah, thank you everyone on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, and press that bell. Press that bell. Yes, press that bell. And we love you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Toodaloo.
Bye. 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 Bye.